What's growing in this container? Hey, can you tell me why this bird is so very happy? Can you grow sweet potatoes from a store-bought one? And what's cooking in the pot today on What the Homestead? Usually when we're chopping up vegetables, we just stick it in the compost bucket, but sometimes you can chop off the ends and you can actually get them to grow and put them in the garden. So like celery, for example, is one way you can do that. Onions, you can do it. Just don't use a lot of water. You don't want the vegetable to rot. And you can take a potato and stick it in dirt and it will grow. And then you can clip off the little grow parts and then you just put them in some water and they root, and then you can stick them in your garden. So I just stuck these in the pot because it's getting late in the season and I'm probably not going to get too much growth out of them, but I just wanted to see if it was possible to do it. And they have been growing. I don't know if there's any potatoes underneath. I'm going to have to keep waiting and see what happens, but I think it might work. We'll find out. So I had a lot of squirrels getting into my bird feeder, and I thought, how am I going to get rid of that? And then I discovered this Kohl's Blazing Hot Blend, and it actually is kind of spicy if you get it on your fingers and you touch your mouth. Well, you probably don't do that, but I do. And yeah, so it burns your mouth a little bit, but it doesn't bother the squirrels, but it doesn't bother the birds. And so the squirrels were getting up there making this huge mess, and now just the birds are going in there and they don't make a big mess and they just eat the food and they're so very happy. So I recommend that Blazing Hot bird seed. Maybe they do like it. Maybe it just tastes really good. Maybe they like spicy food. They should go on hot ones. So I got a new grow rack for this next season. I think my wife likes things to be organized, so I'm ready to go here. And it came with all these little lights. Check it out. And I got more lights. So I've got colorful lights. I've got white lights. I'm going to be growing crazy when February comes and I start putting in my plant seeds to plant in March, because that's when we start around here. So I'm ready to grow. Let's get growing. Here's some seeds I already got right here. What do we got in here? Well, believe it or not, it's little broccoli seeds. Now, this is because we're going into the fall, and broccoli can kind of handle the cold weather. So I started these maybe a month ago, and then they started to grow a little bit bigger. And then maybe it was 2 months ago. And then they started to grow a little bit bigger, month here. And then I put them out in the garden when they were big enough. And where everything else is getting taken out, these guys are getting put in, because I feel like probably in November I'm going to have some broccoli heads on these little broccoli seedlings right here. So I did a round in the spring, and now I'm doing another round in the fall. So we're going to see what happens. So the basil is photobombing my video right now. I guess I was hitting it with my elbow, but anyway, got these guys in the ground. I got a couple other things growing in the garden right now in the fall. As we're going to fall, I have some mustard greens growing. They can handle the frost. I've got some collards. They're not doing as well as I thought they would, but they're supposed to be able to deal with the cold weather. I've got some I tried carrots. I've only got a couple of carrots coming up, and I've got some beets growing in there. Hopefully we'll get some of that stuff. Should be able to handle the cold weather, as I'll be pulling my eggplant soon, and probably pulling my okra as well. Those are the summer crops that are not going to make it. But here's the broccoli where it's at right now. So maybe in a couple of weeks we'll start getting ahead on there, and I'll start getting some broccoli. Kind of looking forward to that. All right, welcome to today's bee adventure. We were going to make a big deal out of today because we're going to open up both boxes and do a mite treatment. So we got the smoker smoking, and we're just going to put in some pine straw in there. Got our tools ready, the sweeper, and this is the bee treatment we're going to put in. This is to prevent from mites taking over a hive, and we're going to have to put in the attic in about the middle, because we're going to put this treatment in between the top box and the bottom box. We haven't opened up the bottom box in a while, so this is a big adventure. We have a feeder on top for 1-to-1 sugar. We're going to take that off, and then we're going to take the top box, and we're going to take a look in the top box here. We have some hive beetle traps on the top here. I'm going to take a peek in there. There are a couple of hive beetles, not too many. We're going to clean those out, put some new oil in there, and get those traps back in to get rid of any hive beetles we got. I'm just going to pull out the frame. This is the top box, loaded with honey. They've got plenty of stores for winter, which is really good. I think it's a strong hive. I'm going to take off that top box. Man, it is heavy. That honey is weighing something. I'm going to have to start working out so I can lift these boxes a little bit better. A little bit of smoke, and the honey was actually on the bottom box, and I thought maybe I should scrape this off, but I thought, if I'm in here, I'm just gonna do what we're gonna do. But I wanted to check some of the frames first, so I put out this first frame in the bottom box. Now I'm looking for brood. I'm looking for anything. There was some capped There was some cat brood in here. I think there was some nectar in here. We looked at a couple of frames. It looked pretty good, so I thought we were going to drop in our treatment now. They say to just pull back the top of this treatment. There's 2 trays. One goes in for 2 weeks, and you pull it, and you put in another tray for a couple of weeks, and then you pull that, and it should take care of any mite infestation you'll have. So I'm just going to lay it right on top of the brood box. A little bit of smoke because they were starting to get mad at me, but I did want to. Well, this is me putting on the top box again. This is the honey box, laying that on top there as best I could get it back in position. I got that in the middle. The hive traps are going back in the top there, and then the feeder going back on top. And for some reason, this was the final straw. I hadn't smoked in a little bit, and I think the bees were kind of mad at me. I started sweeping them here because I didn't want to crush them. I just wanted to get them out of there. So I could put and then all of a sudden, they decided that this was the final straw for them. They were going to come out and take care of me. I guess I had given them a little bit more smoke. I also wish I had worn long pants because that's where they decided to go. And getting stung in the legs, that's painful. And I got a couple in the hands as well. Next time, I got to put on a full suit. Grayson came up and he was running away. My cameraman there, and I had a couple of stingers here. They get in there, you got to pick them out, or they just keep pumping the poison in. But I got those back out. I had made some 1-to-1 syrup, so I figured, well, we'll just get these guys happy, let them settle down for a minute. Went back down, suited back up, got the 1-to-1 syrup. Now it's like 6 cups of water, 6 cups of sugar, so it's like 1-to-1. And to give them something to feed on here, help them with making more brood. Poured that in the top. You can see them, all go up in that place right there, and they can feed all they want. Got the top box back on, put the cat back on, strapped it down. I'm going to leave them alone for a couple of days until I need to replenish that feed in that feeder, and leave them alone for 2 weeks after that, and then take that top box off again and see how my mite guard is going here. So that's all we got for this week. So my neighbor gave me some banana peppers from his garden, and these actually must have mixed with some other of his jalapenos or something because they are pretty spicy. I don't think of banana peppers as being spicy, and he gave me a whole mess of them. I'm like, what am I going to do with these things? So I decided I'd make some salsa. So I actually got some tomatoes and I chopped them up in the blender. I got a little bit of onion, and I'm going to put him in the blender and smush him up in there too. And then it's going to make a really good salsa. I think I can eat with the chips because it's going to have that. It's not just a mild. It's kind of in that medium heat right there. The flavor of those banana peppers, if you can believe it. So chopped up the onions, and they went in there. And then I had to start working on these banana peppers. I had so many banana peppers. So I'm just chopping off the tops there. I had some regular peppers from my garden, some bell peppers, cut it down a little bit. Because Kim doesn't I like spicy food, so I can go on hot ones. Kim doesn't like it spicy, so can't make it too hot. So put this all into a pot and a little salt, and I'm going to put a little lime juice in there as well, and then we're going to get this thing onto the stove because I'm going to cook it just a little bit to kind of get it all to kind of just soften up a little bit and kind of blend all together. So I'll blend it up here with a spoon, get it mixed up nice, and then it's going on the stove. Just a little heat there, and just for a little bit, and then all we're going to do is that's it right there. We're going to pretty much put it in the jars, scoop it into the jars, and then I'm gonna seal the jars. The ones I got a new sealer. It's you don't have to boil the water or anything like that. You just put this. But I only have 3 jars, right? I don't need to boil water, so I thought I'd put this on there, and it holds it for a minute, and then you can see when you take it off, it's sealed. Well, perfect. It's supposed to be sealed perfectly. Well, I did get it finished in the end. So that's it for today on What the Homestead. Enjoy your salsa. All right.